Hi, my name is Lucrezia, and this is Pricing on the Cake.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Pricing on the Cake, the podcast that's all about creating a business that gives you wealth, joy, and a lot of abundance in your life. My name is Courtney Rogers. I'm an award-winning business coach, podcaster, and I'm joined today by Lucrezia Iapichino from Blogging for New Bloggers. Lucrezia, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks.
So I would love for you to introduce yourself to our viewers. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, of course. I'm originally from Italy, if you have a bit of an accent, but I've studied and worked in different countries, and I'm now based in Melbourne, Australia. So I worked as an international lawyer, university lecturer for over 15 years, in different countries. And now I'm the founder. So I run a couple of websites and blogs and business all under the same umbrella. But so I founded together with my sister Marina, Blogging for New Bloggers. And then I have legals for business owners, the tag specifically business owners. And my first blog was Tinylovebug. It was a lifestyle blog. And we also host the Blogging for New Bloggers community. Is a Facebook group with over 30,000 members. They are mostly bloggers and online entrepreneurs from all around the world. I help especially new people that are starting a new business. It can be a business or a blog, to start the business and grow it and protect it legally with my courses and legal templates.
Yeah, amazing. So that's really interesting to me. You went from international law and legal studies and being an academic, and now you are helping business owners grow their business through blogging. Can you tell me a little bit about that transition? Like, what brought you to the world of going from all the legal stuff, which is its own kettle of fish, to working with new business owners?
It actually all happened by chance. It wasn't planned at all. What happened was that so I met my husband in London. I'll do a background story.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just happened literally by chance. I would never expected this to happen. And I'm so happy that this happened. I know, I want to mention this because I know that some people might be in corporate, might have a successful career, but still they feel like something missing in their life. Yeah. And so my journey might inspire some other people to take the leap. And even, if they scared.
Love that. Yes, please give us
what happened was that I actually started my business as a creative outlet, because my husband and I were trying to start a family. We wanted a baby.
Yeah. And
it wasn't happening for us. We had been trying for years and years. So in total, it took us 5 years. So at some point, my fertility specialist said, look, you to focus on this, you need something to keep your mind off these issues. And so I started a blog as a creative outlet, right? Yeah. And I loved it. And, so I didn't start it as a business venture at all. But even from the beginning, from inception, we started making good money out of it and said, maybe into something here, right? Yeah. At the same time, something's happening throughout my life where, for example, I mentioned, I don't want to go too dark, but okay. I'll mention quickly.
We're all about keeping it real here.
Yes. When I first moved to Australia, I became blind. I was blind for 3 months. No, it's not like in a figurative sense. I lost my sight. Okay. For a virus, okay? But we didn't know at the time there was a virus that could be reversed, cured. And so I thought, what I'm doing with my life, I'm here stuck in a bed and, I had a second chance basically alive. And I realized that what I was doing wasn't really giving me a real purpose. Yes. Because it was all for the prestige, the career, the recognition in society that, you have all of that.
Yeah, the expectations of society. Exactly. Yeah.
But I didn't feel that I was actually helping anyone and making a real difference in day-to-day life of other people. So what I did was, when I saw that I could still make money with the blog, I realized, especially because then people start asking me, how are you doing this? I realized that I could help so many people, empower them to do the same, to work from wherever they wanted, whenever they wanted, like, so really do the life that you like being creative at the same time, and like doing your own journey and the things that you like without having a boss, without like I start thinking, what if one day I want to go, because now I'm a mom, so
very different now. It's very
and so I was like, what if I want to go to a recital and then like I can't get leave because I'm too busy.
Exactly. And you know what, like so many women are in that position, the same position as you, where they're not getting a lot of fulfillment. They're not getting joy out of their corporate role. It's not in alignment with who they are. It doesn't light their soul up, right? And they feel like they're wasting their life and wasting themselves. And then they become a mom and they have this, all of a sudden their life just completely transforms. And they're like, oh my gosh, I actually not only want to make a living out of this skill, this passion that I have and making an impact on other people, I really need to for my family. And that I can't love that anymore, because as a coach, like I call myself a bit of a rebel coach, because I'm all about fighting the status quo and fighting against the societal expectations of go to uni, get a degree, get a job, stay there for 50 years and then die. Don't worry about being creative or doing something that fulfills you, God forbid, something that lights your soul up. And the fact that you are coming from that position where you were like, you know what, I was in that career. I had it. I had the prestige. I had the status. I had the security, the money, and it wasn't enough. It didn't light me up. And I think that's amazing. And that would be so encouraging for so many women on here who are listening and who are maybe second guessing themselves and thinking, should I give up? Like, should I go back to corporate? And I think that's so awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. Usually people that move, they start a side hustle or something is because they're coming from a place where probably they, in, I don't know, work environment's toxic or have a terrible career, or, I don't know, like they can't find a job, and it's all good because side hustle and making your own business is good for everyone, in my opinion. Yeah. But I think like the people that are, underrepresented are those who are actually successful and they feel in their situation, like their career or whatever, but they want to make the move, but they feel that they will disappoint their parents. They will like, it was, people they will ask, like, for me, when I resigned from my job, people was, are you sure? Like you're giving up this 6-figure salary and the security and the stability and
everyone looks at you like you have two heads. They're like, why would you lose that position? Why would you give that up voluntarily?
So today we're giving them permission that they can do it. And then now I'm making multiple 6 figures with my business. So there is the light at the end of the tunnel.
My parents were not happy when I quit an accounting job at a big accounting firm. And now I earn way more than I was then. And I'm happy as well. Yeah. My parents would still prefer it if I was still in a normal job. So for anyone out there who's like, oh my gosh, I wish my family were more supportive, don't worry, you're not alone. It happens to so many of us where, your parents, like, maybe they're not supportive, or they are and they accept it, but they're not excited about you in your business and things like that. So yeah, I hope that that's really encouraging for anyone listening who doesn't have that support and that excitement and enthusiasm from friends and family. It can be really, really hard as well. Lucrezia, I'd love to ask you, what were some of your main challenges as you left your corporate role and started your business? What were some of the fears or worries that you had around
that? I had many. I really encountered many challenges throughout, the whole journey, and I still have, the more your business grows, you faced with new challenges because you are the next step, and But when I was starting out, first of all, I was second guessing myself because, in my industry, blogging, for example, which is my main, it's all written. is also very big in the US. So my audience is mainly based in the US, Australia as well, Canada, UK, but the US is a massive country. So and so there were like technical issues like, oh, will be my English good enough because I'm not a native speaker, or like the time zone difference, having, like I would be invited in a summit and it would be at like 3 a.m. in the morning, making all that work. But these are things like really small things that with time you can overcome. And I want to say to anyone that is feeling they're not enough, like I was, because I wasn't a native speaker. If you're feeling like, oh, I'm not beautiful enough to go on a video on YouTube, or, whatever you're feeling, don't. Because actually I found out later that the fact that I do have an accent, it was something that people could relate with, like, people, anything, like it can be, it gives you that I don't know if you read the book from Seth Godin, like the purple cow. Anything that is different that you bring to the play that is not seen, that it can maybe resonate with someone else, encourage them, empower them, inspire them. So go for it. You don't have to be. We don't have to be all the same.
Exactly.
But another thing that it was a really big challenge for me was moving from the solopreneur stage to having a team that was growing, and that was really hard because I don't like to label myself for things. I worked a lot on my mindset, but just so that we understand where I was coming from. I'm a control freak.
Okay. I think a lot of us can relate to that. Oh, perfectionist right here, hand up, absolutely.
And so when I had to outsource or start delegating, that was really difficult for me. But I learned that letting go of perfectionism, it did require a lot of internal work, but once I start living by the, done is better than perfect mindset. Yes. Everything became so much easier. And actually my business started gaining momentum because I was finally able to do more things, all the things that, they've been there for years that I never published or I never done because, this is not good enough. Like I need to so finish up this. And, so it really, striving for perfection can be, an endless and fruitless pursuit. So it can lead to procrastination, which happened to me all the time because I always found something that I could change or improve.
And when you're a business and you wear so many hats, there are always things to do and there are always things to improve. And so if you're letting yourself being led by that sense of everything needs to be perfect, it needs to be better all the time, you're never actually going to move, right? Your wheels are going to be spinning, but you're not going to go anywhere. And it's interesting that you brought up the delegation side of things as well, because one of the most common things I'm telling a lot of my clients, because a lot of them are in that sort of stage where they're solo, but they need to get a team, but they're like, I don't want to hand over the control. I'm a control freak, which I hand on heart is absolutely what I was as well. And I often say to them is that if you don't, your business cannot grow. Right? Richard Branson didn't get to where he is. Mark Zuckerberg didn't get to where he is because they were control freaks and held on to all of the jobs. They gave jobs to other people because it allowed them to have the time to do other things, right? To focus on their own zone of genius. And this was actually like, an advice that a mentor had given me who's worked with like billion-dollar conglomerates around the world. And he said, if entrepreneurs can't let go of that control and delegate, they're basically setting themselves up for failure. And it sounds really harsh, but it's true. And I'm sure that you would have experienced the same thing. Like I'm sure I know that my business wouldn't be where it is now without the team that it has. Would you say the same thing for yourself?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. There are things that, some things that my team can do way better than I could ever do. But even if it was like, there are some specific things that I'm particularly good at. And maybe, like sometimes I see something that my team is like, oh, maybe I wouldn't have done it this way. It doesn't matter, because as long as everything is aligned with our mission, is still empowering people, is still helping people, supporting people, giving people, value. It doesn't matter if then the color is not perfect, that shade of pink that I would have picked, or
Yep, absolutely. Yep. You can't be caught up worrying about like all of the things in your business and everything that's going on, because like, I'll often say to clients who get worried about that sort of thing, I'll say, do you think Richard Branson notices or knows that there's a typo in one of his Facebook ads? Probably not, because he doesn't have the time to worry about things like that. And he knows that in the long run, it's not that important. Right. What's important is, overall strategy, overall mission, like you said. And I'd love to know from you, Lucrezia, like if there was, one thing that you wish that you knew or that you believed when you started, or that someone would have told you, what would that be?
Maybe I'll go because there's so many.
There are. I know it's hard to pick one.
I'll probably go back to what you said before, like because I think that's something that happens to probably everyone that starts, and they're not prepared to how much it takes to start a business, all the things that are involved, and we wear like so many hats, and so that overwhelm that we feel. So I wish that someone had told me at the time that you don't need to be everywhere or anywhere and do everything at once. So I think that the best strategy is to pick up a few platform, for example, like let's say social media, right? You don't need to be on all of them when you first started. You just pick the one that maybe resonate with you the best, or you feel like it's a good match with your personality. For example, I prefer blogs or podcasts or YouTube channels because I'm an introvert, and so I don't really.
I'm actually surprised by that.
But let's pick 2 platforms. You start with those, you master those, and then move to the next one. You don't do everything at once. Also, you keep like checking, is it worth? Is it good, return on investment, or is better to ditch it because I'm just wasting time? This is not working. Like, you don't need to do everything. Like, and also you can do things differently. When I started like learning, marketing strategies and this and that, and people say, okay, I don't know, send DMs to people that follow. I don't want to do that. It's not what I am. Like, I don't want to, like,
it's not in alignment with who you are.
Exactly. And so there's no true or wrong, like, this is correct, this is not, is what best work for you, your personality, your business. Because once you find that soft spot of things that you like doing, in my business now, I only do things that I like doing. Otherwise I won't do it. Because once you do the things that you love and only those, there's a different energy. I agree. And then you would attract the right people. You would make more sales because you're more confident. You believe in what you're doing. While if I had to send a DM to someone saying, "This is my God," that would make me so awkward. That
would make me feel sick if I had to send a DM to someone, and I'd probably just be like, "Hey, here's a nice GIF to brighten your day and make them laugh," or something like that. And I wouldn't even pitch to them. It would just be so awkward. No, I totally agree. I think that, as entrepreneurs, because the potential things that we can be doing and the activities that we can be doing are so many, we really need to be protective of our energy. And especially as women, we tend to overwork. We tend to overgive, for other people, as well as, out of ourselves and our energy and our time. And we really need to take control back and take that power back and say, you know what, I'm not going to be everywhere at once because I can't be, and I'm not going to put that pressure on myself because that's absurd. I cannot, not even social media managers will tell you that being on social media platforms is a full-time job, and as a business owner you need time to do other things in your business. Right? You need time to work on your client work. You need time for upskilling. You need time for operations or admin or legal stuff or whatever else it is. Right? So there are so many facets to it. And I think that is really, really brilliant advice that you've given of picking 2 things, 2 platforms, 2 ways to communicate and be present for your audience and go with that. And I can absolutely attest that that is 100% a really, really great way of going about your marketing, especially when you're starting out, right? Oh, awesome. Lucrezia, this has been an absolutely fabulous chat, and I would absolutely love to have you on the show again one time. But we're going to wrap it up for today, and I'd love to leave the audience with a final piece of advice that you have for women who want to feel more fulfilled and more abundant in their business.
Probably, and it's not, I might be biased by this, but in saying this, but it's like, if you don't have a blog yet in your business, add one, because in what we were saying is probably the if you don't like writing, just access to a writer, but what I'm saying is like why a blog would really would be a perfect addition to your business is because you will actually bring people from Google, because it will be all passive. So it's not, another thing that you have to work hard for. It's actually people that will find you without you having to do anything at all, except for writing a blog post. But you write it once, and then it will work for you for months and months and years down the track, because it will always bring the same, it's not like a social media post that is short-lived. That blog post is there and can be found for
years. It's quite evergreen.
Yeah. And like a podcast episode, same. So I'm all for long form content, especially because then you can repurpose on social media and everything.
Absolutely. I love repurposing, only because I'm like lazy, but also I'm like efficient as well.
But it will play, like having a blog will increase your authority. You can be found by people that are really interested in that. So your client, instead of you having to find clients all the time, they're actually finding you through Google. They search for something, you come up, and then once they're on your website, on your blog post, you convert them, to a subscriber or a client, depending on what. Yeah.
And if you have great SEO on your website, then it's only going to help with that. It's going to help so much. Lucrezia, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you'll join us again sometime. This has been a really awesome chat.
I love that. Yeah, I really enjoyed chatting with you. And
awesome. Yeah, I can imagine like there would be so many people listening right now who have been so encouraged by your story, especially, the decision that you made to leave corporate and go and follow your passion and just be like, you know what? Fuck the society, fuck everyone else's expectations. I'm just going to do whatever the heck I want. Oh, awesome. All right. So this has been another episode of The Pricing on the Cake. Don't forget that you can find more resources in the free Facebook group, The Pricing on the Cake, by the same name. If you have any questions for myself, you can shoot me an email at courtney@courtneydeegan.com. Lucrezia, if anyone would like to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
So my website is bloggingfornewbloggers.com. They can get a few freebies there. They can be really, it's not only for bloggers, for online entrepreneurs too, but otherwise I have Legals for business owners too, is for specifically for online entrepreneurs. I have a Facebook group of the same name, Blogging for New Bloggers, and Instagram is with my name, Lucrezia Iapichino.
Awesome.
Yeah, whichever works for you.
Well, thank you once again. And thank you everyone for listening. Catch up next week for the next episode. Bye-bye.